I'm going to call the meeting to order. Do I need to bang it? Yeah. Oh. Meeting is called to order. I am going to call for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, agenda is adopted. We do not have any special presentations tonight. And is there anyone in the audience who wishes to make a public comment, a general public comment, not about our new business? No? Anyone online? No. Okay. Now we need to go to a consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which is the consideration of approval of minutes from November 18th, 2025?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, agenda of approval, consent agenda is approved. There is no old business, and Shelley is going to start us off with new business.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Like that.
So this is case H 2025-02R. This is a request to amend the town's zoning map, requesting to rezone 2 properties from neighborhood commercial to a conditional general commercial zoning designation. The site is located at 3350 Highway 49 South. You can see the 2 parcel ID numbers. I will read them into the record. They are 5517390324 and parcel 5517390482. Now, the existing site is just under 4 acres in size and is developed with 2 commercial office warehouse buildings. The purpose of this rezone request is to establish a designation that would allow outdoor storage associated with the proposed building supply commercial operation on this site. Now, this operation is associated with the property owner's existing business, Foils, which is located at 2283 Highway 49. Now, their existing operation is a recycling scrap yard. The subject site is being rezoned to offer a retail operation that will provide opportunity for the purchase of new and recycling steel material at this site. There will be no dismantling operations at this proposed site. So we'll start with some location information. This is 2 aerial photographs of the subject site. The parcel is located east of the town center along Highway 49. Zooming in on the subject site, the site consists of two parcels that operate as one site. There's shared parking, outdoor storage area or paving, one access into the site. A little more information about the location. So, as you can see in this aerial photograph here, there's environmentally, there's a nice established buffer. There is a large wooded area, there's a floodway, stream, floodplain as well as some wooded area at the north end of the subject site. There is residential use in the area, but again, you can see with the wooded area, floodplain, floodway, there's a real nice buffer between any of the proposed or existing or proposed use adjacent to 49 and the residential district. Looking at existing zoning for the area, now all these properties that front Highway 49 are zoned neighborhood commercial. There is residentially zoned properties that surround it. And to further east along Highway 49, we have Employment Center, which is our light industrial designation. Looking at existing and proposed zoning, the existing zoning is neighborhood commercial. Now, this district is intended for low-intensity neighborhood, non-residential development supporting adjacent residential uses that are typically located at intersections of collector roads. The proposed zoning district of general commercial is a commercial district that typically offers locations for businesses that need greater transportation access, such as this case. These properties are located right off Highway 49, so great transportation access. They are typically developed a little more intensely with auto-intensive establishments than you would typically see in a neighborhood commercial. Neighborhood commercials like small grocery stores, strip center, again, their intent of the NC is to offer services to the adjacent residential areas. The general commercial district is ideally located on or within proximity to a major or minor thoroughfare such as Highway 49. So here's a photograph of the subject site. Again, developed with 2 office warehouse type buildings on the site. They have a shared access point, shared parking, access to the rear of the property, again, where they have some outside graveled area. So in our evaluation of this site, the first thing we do is assess the site for conformity of town regulations. This site is considered a non-conforming site as it relates to various aspects of the site, such as the lack of infrastructure for the customer parking lot, little landscaping, there's no buffer street yards or building yards, there's no site lighting or street lighting currently. It is not in compliance with the Highway 49 corridor plan as well as it relates to frontage sidewalks, landscaping, lighting, and center median. Additionally, it lacks roadway dedication. So again, the first thing we do with all requests is we evaluate it for conformance with today's regulations and then work with the property owner and applicant's team to try to bring it into compliance where appropriate. So in this case, we are getting improvements that are in keeping with the Highway 49 corridor plan. We are getting right-of-way dedication. We are getting a multi-use path along the frontage, street lights, and center landscape median constructed along its frontage. Street yard landscaping, paving of the customer parking lot that includes ADA facilities. We did not request a building yard. That is typically landscaping between the front sidewalk of the front parking lot and the building front. This is an existing site where there's existing sidewalk right up next to the building, so there was no benefit in having the applicant tear that out, put landscaping, then a new sidewalk that really would constrain the parking lot circulation. They are offering a proposed site in street lighting, And they are removing some existing gravel area at the rear of the development that is adjacent to the floodplain. They're going to replant that area. They're also providing required plantings, buffers in the form of landscaped areas, slats within an existing fence where needed, and counting some of the existing wooded area along the rear of the property. Here is the site plan for the project. Again, within the 49 corridor, we're getting a 10-foot wide landscape median, right-of-way dedication, a multi-use path, street trees, street lights, what we call street yard landscaping adjacent to Highway 49 buffers, and a paved commercial customer lot, parking, and these sidewalks are existing. They are proposing to also remove some of the gravel lot in the rear and replant this area with saplings. Again, this request was generated from the need of their outdoor storage in the rear, which would be behind the primary buildings. So a little bit about the outdoor storage. They are requesting this area in order to put in some of these outdoor racks for their steel material. They are conditioned and required to ensure that any outdoor storage is not visible from the public right-of-way. So with all conditional zoning requests, we're required to review, or the board is required to review the decision criteria, which is provided in your staff report on page 7, 8, and a portion of 9. It reviews section 145.0303 and 145.01. It's staff's opinion as conditioned that the proposal is in compliance with the criteria outlined in the UDO. It's also a reasonable request because it's repurposing a commercial site within an existing economic corridor while bringing the site into compliance with current development regulations. Additionally, it's consistent with the goals of the Harrisburg area land use plan as it relates to goals in transportation improvement, quality development within a key gateway location. It's consistent with the future land use map, and it also supports economic development. As with all conditional zoning requests, the applicant is required to host a neighborhood meeting. They held their meeting on April 17th. The minutes are found within the packet, but there were no attendees. We were here, the applicants, we were here for about a half hour waiting to see. There was no one online or no one in person at that meeting. So staff believes all the findings can be made to support this request and recommend that this board recommend approval to the town council as conditioned, and I'll read these conditions into the record. The applicant shall obtain all required federal, state, and local permits associated with the redevelopment of the site and NCDOT improvements. Local permits include Harrisburg construction documents, Cabarrus County building permits, and Cabarrus County Health Alliance. This site is not on city utilities. It has a well and septic system. Development of the site will be consistent with the conditional zoning plan and applicable regulations. The approved uses on this site include office, retail, new and resale, material warehousing, and material yard storage. No salvage or scrap yard activity, such as dismantling or other processes, and recycling collection is permissible at this site. Outdoor storage shall be screened and not visible from the public right-of-way. All improvements shall be permitted, constructed, and/or installed prior to occupancy. So before I go on and read a motion, we did get an email from the chair who is unable to make it this evening, and I wanted to acknowledge his email and answer some of the questions he provided. So he had concerns about plantings and some of the required landscaping in the right-of-way along the frontage. So the town has been working through the DRC, which is our Development Review Committee, on this project for just over a year now. Our DRC team includes all the department heads and staff from fire, public works, engineering, as well as NCDOT. So they have been involved they have been involved in the review of this project from the very beginning. They're aware of our conditioning for the landscaping within the right-of-way. Some other questions is he was concerned about the street lighting location, the tree planting locations. So if approved, the next step for the applicant is to submit construction plans and work with Duke. I'm not sure if it's Duke or Union Power, but the electric company on siting the exact location for the street lights and site lighting. With that, that's part of the construction plan requirement, and at that point, we get a detailed landscape plan as well, and we ensure through the process that there are no conflicts between the two. So that will get addressed during the construction plan review. He questioned the, I think the building yards, which that was a great catch, but I did try to explain it's existing sidewalk, and we did not want to remove sidewalk for a landscape area next to the building that would impact the circulation and parking in the front yard, as well as buffers. A lot of the buffer and landscaping requirements gets vetted out when we have a landscape plan. So these are all very valid questions and concerns, but the details come later with the construction plans and not at this point. So with that, I believe we've addressed some of his, or all of his concerns. So considered motions for the board. We ask that you receive the report, public comment, and after deliberations, motion to recommend to the town council to approve. Of course, you can recommend to approve with modifications, or you would recommend to disapprove the zoning map amendment as conditioned, and then you would need to make the required findings, one for reasonableness and consistency with the Harrisburg area land use plan. We believe the findings can be made that the map amendment is a reasonable request and the map amendment is consistent with the HALA. So I stand by to answer any questions you may have.
I have a question.
Sure.
Oh, gosh, that's loud. I see in the front of there, there's going to be a left turn, like you can pull up to the median and turn left into the driveway, right? So how are people coming up on the right? I assume they're doing this because of increased volume of work. They're going to have more storage, so you're going to have more trucks going in and out from the right. So how is that going to impact traffic? I don't see anywhere like a turn lane to go into their place, so we don't have backup on 49. That's my concern. I can see 4 big, long trucks, right, trying to get in there.
55 miles an hour.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So this project has gone through review with NCDOT. They did not believe a right turn lane is warranted
Okay.
at this location. Right now, in front of their site, it's a dual turn lane down the middle of 49 in front of their site. So you can go left in, right in,
Yeah.
left out, and so forth. The highway corridor plan identified a future restricted just left turn lane, but that starts further down. So there was not that requirement on the applicant, but we did require the landscape median. NCDOT and our engineering department did not feel that this proposed use would warrant a right turn lane, so that was vetted out.
And so what, I guess how do they make that determination? Like I said, I mean, it's 55 miles an hour, people are going 60.
Mm-hmm.
It does, I mean, it can get pretty busy through there.
Mhm.
What kind of traffic will be going into this business?
I'll let the applicant answer some of that, because it is, again, it's been existing businesses, office warehouse type businesses. It was an automotive repair before and
How long
a,
ago? I mean, that hasn't.
yeah,
been
just a couple,
historical.
yeah, it's been a few years. I believe the owners owned it for at least 3 years. So NCDOT and the town evaluate for traffic impacts based on the size of the building, the proposed use, and the volume of traffic they intend coming in and out of the site. And then from that point, they determine whether they believe a traffic impact analysis, A, is warranted. It did not meet that threshold or even close, so that was not required. Then NCDOT and our traffic engineer, which is our town engineer, Devin, determined whether or not they felt a right turn lane was warranted, and that was not, it was not believed that it would be warranted based on the proposed use.
I don't know. And then maybe, I don't know if we're at this point, so people can make a left or a right out of there?
Yes, so
So-
it's set up so they can do a left in or a left out.
And so that proposed landscape island,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay.
So it allows room if someone's coming out, so it's sort of like, you see this along 49 in multiple places where you have people left, doing a U-turn or
Right,
left
right,
out
right.
as they
I just
left
wanna
in.
make sure that
Mhm.
that landscape is not gonna like hinder people's, vision of oncoming traffic.
Right, right, no. So again, the details of this landscape median will still be vetted out even further during construction plan review, because we're, as you just mentioned, we'd want to make sure that we don't plant the wrong shrubs or trees in there that might impede any visual sight distance trying to utilize that area. But this has been submitted to NCDOT as part of our DRC review that brought it here today.
Okay. And same for making a right, sometimes we were just talking, like, there's a lot of times where even making a right, it's hard
You
to
look
see
left,
traffic, like,
yes.
oncoming
Mhm.
traffic,
Mhm.
so.
Yes.
And did you answer Bill's question about the landscaping that should be planted at the outdoor storage screening? Is required plant densities for that and not street yard required densities, or is that gonna come later?
Well, they're different. So I think he got the street yards and the buffers different. So the street yards is along the frontage facing the street. The buffers are on the side,
Yeah.
which are different densities. So they are different. And again, they have to follow code through the landscape plan that's viewed at the construction document phase.
Okay. Any other questions?
I've got one more.
Yes.
So I see the buffer of, to impede the view of that new equipment on the side and from the street.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of buffer in the back,
Mm-hmm.
but is there enough buffer in the back for that residential to not see it when the tree line is, when the trees are down?
Yes, we will vet that out even further. So what happens is whenever it's proposed that they have to, or someone's proposing that they're going to utilize existing tree line or landscaping towards their buffer requirements, they actually have to give us a survey so we can guarantee that the right trees and mix of trees are going to screen that area. Now, they have quite a bit
Yeah, there's a lot there.
of tree,
It
yeah,
would take
it's
a lot.
quite a distance, but we still are going to double check that the plan doesn't show, but I think the aerial photograph shows pretty
Yeah, it's
well.
big.
So you
That's-
see the residential area over here, there's all this existing, their sites right here. They have, I'd say about a third of their site is already wooded, but we're concerned with bringing it
Yeah,
down all the
because
way to
that-
the front to ensure it's screened.
And I think that one parcel, kind of east, north, like the one that has, where it's written 500-year floodplain.
Yeah, that
That-
one looks like it could see it.
Well, that's, and I think that's zoned single family.
Yeah.
This one over here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is zoned single family
Well-
residence.
Yeah, we'll make sure it has.
But, okay. Where is the storage going to be located on the site?
If you look at their site plan, they've identified some of the existing gravel storage. Let me bring it up here.
It's in the back towards that.
It's this crosshatched area
Oh, okay.
over here. So they have roll-up doors in the front and the back here, and their
Mhm.
racks will be back over in this area. So again, when we get their construction plans, they have to show us exactly where the racks are going to be, so we will double check to ensure that although this use over here, right here may be commercial, they're still required to have a certain amount of screening, and then we want no screening if I'm traveling down 49, that's well hidden.
Can you go back to the picture of the buildings, the photo?
Sure. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, because you can see like,
Right
that's where
here.
screening's gonna be, yeah. And
Mhm.
in between the two buildings,
Right.
it looks like they're gonna put stuff there, so there should be some-
Landscaping and slats in the fence, there's an existing,
Yeah.
you can see the fence right
Mhm.
there as well.
But I'm talking between the two buildings on the parcels, on the
Mhm.
parcel in question. In between there is where, I can see from the street now, if they put racks in there, I'm
Mhm.
gonna be able to see them from the street. So.
It looks like it's back further, right?
Yeah, it's
I
back
guess I
quite a
wanna make
ways.
sure of that.
It is.
Back
It's-
to the right.
Yeah,
to the
it's
left.
back there, and
You
again,
won't
we
see
have
that.
to get a site plan showing where exactly the racks are going. They have a couple of things to work around, such as they have some septic back there that they have to stay clear of.
And is you said the median's going to be 10 feet wide?
Yeah, it shows 11 from face of curb to face of curb.
I mean, is it already, is the lane, that turning lane, that wide, or is it going to impede on like the current 4 lanes that are there?
I don't have the exact measurement in front of me of what the existing dual turn lane is, but my assumption is they're filling that
Okay.
lane with that's why it's 11 feet kind of on
Okay.
face of curb to face of curb. And again, that's something we will, NCDOT has seen this, but these rezoning plans are considered sort of a sketch plan or a concept plan. We make sure that can meet setbacks and it meets all the fundamentals, but you don't go into actually engineering until they have a vested project. So the next step for the applicant is to give us the details, and they have to get permitting through NCDOT for this landscape median.
Forgive me if I don't trust NCDOT. And just real quick, ex officio does vote, right, as a voting member? So do we have a quorum?
You do.
It's 4? Okay, it's 4. Okay, I thought it was 5. Okay, so now we will go on to public comment for this project. If you could state your name and ask for address? Name and address, please.
Yep, Lisa Thompson, 100 North Tryon, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28202. 28202, yeah, that's right. Good evening, thank you, members of the planning board. My name's Lisa Thompson. I'm a land use consultant with Warren Van Allen. Happy to be here tonight on behalf of Foils Incorporated. Happy to receive staff's recommendation of approval. they did a great job reviewing the slides, so I'll go as quickly as possible, not to repeat anything that was already stated. Subject site, again, is 3.925 acres. Is there a pointer? Yes. Oh, you see that? Okay.
Yep.
So there's 2 existing buildings on site, again, on Highway 49. Foils Incorporated purchased the property a few years back. They've been in business over 100 years. They're family-owned. They have another site that was mentioned that provides for the manufacturing and recycling of those construction materials and metals. This location will be retail only. The change in ordinance a few years back prohibited the continued operation of this type of use. So we are simply trying to bring the site back into compliance. As Shelley mentioned, the existing zoning is neighborhood commercial. We're seeking general commercial. It is consistent with your adopted land use plan, which is a good use for a highway type of corridor. To the top right is a screenshot of the existing building. What I wanted to identify are those Class B 10-foot buffers that will go along the sides of the buildings. Out front, you'll have that proposed landscape island. We will meet NCDOT requirements. Behind the existing Creighton Myrtles, you'll have that 10-foot multi-use path, and then a smaller radius curb and gutter section to provide for more safety along the frontage of the site. Benefits of this plan: supports local businesses, allows the property owner to use the site as originally intended. There's a clear use of permitted and prohibited uses listed on the site plan. We've prohibited some of the more obnoxious uses that are allowed in the general commercial corridor. Those are your automobile repair, tobacco, vape stores, restaurants, with or without accessory drive-throughs, multifamily, any sexually oriented businesses, vehicle sales, and self-storage. So that is listed and binding on the conditional plan. We talked about that multi-use path enhancement out front that provides for more connectivity and some of your pedestrian goals, walkability goals that you have for the town, that right-of-way dedication, enhanced design along the frontage, and then again with conditional zoning, what you see is what you get. You'll have clear expectations of the development outcome, reducing any uncertainty for stakeholders. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked this earlier, what kind of traffic will be coming in to
Right.
this?
So DOT bases their traffic studies on peak hour trips. So currently there is an office use with up to maybe 3 employees on the building on the right. That's an existing chiropractic office use. So the number of trips entering the site for that use is not even close to what would warrant a traffic study than general daytime use.
No, I mean, what kind of people / vehicles would come to purchase things at the retail store? I mean, is it people like me, or is it
Yep.
like businesses with big?
You can come on.
Yeah. If you can just state your name.
How you doing? I'm Mike Torrance.
Hi.
My son, Nathaniel. But anyway, you need my address? Yes. Okay, 851 Burridge, Concord. Okay. So we sell new and used material from our site now. Okay. So you have to come into the scrapyard to go get material. We sell to the fire department here, which we actually donate, police department. We got everybody you can think of, from the guy that wants one piece of tubing to somebody that would maybe want a trailer load of plate. Okay, it's rare. We do probably 15 people a day right now. Okay, that would be in and out. Tractor trailers, you're looking at 1, maybe 2 a week. of material that comes in to resell. We sell new and used material. So that's the idea. The storage racks and stuff that you're, you know, the traffic part of it, I'm not gonna lie to you. I care less about that medium. I think but we won't go there. I will agree to whatever I need to because we needed to. So when I purchased the building, the gentleman that owned it was elderly. He had a lease with the people that were there. I did not want to break that lease because I gave him my word I would not. Okay, so therefore, when the lease was up, your zoning had changed. So I was GC, and I would have put that material, we cleaned up the site. The site was a mess. It had trucks and trailers and trash, and we're a recycling yard, but if you come to my yard, I'd love for you to come to my yard. We do a great job. I'm not just saying that, but we wouldn't be here for 100 years, wouldn't. I'm fourth, he's fifth generation, and I have 2 girls that run the business too. So we're not planning on going anywhere. But this was an outside option for us to help because people have to pay so much for new material and use. We get a lot of businesses that go out of business with their scrap, and we purchase it, and then we bring it in sorted. We do have to sort it, and then we put it in the racks, and we sell it to people that come in. If you wanted something for your house or your trailer, you want copper, like we get jobs where people finish a town center and they'll have copper left over. We put it into storage and sell pieces of copper 10 foot long to a guy so he don't have to go buy 250 feet from Lowe's.
So you're bringing stuff from your scrap
Yes.
location to here?
Yes.
In what type of vehicle?
Flatbed or van.
Okay. So I guess my question is more for the town. I don't know. To me, I feel like it would be a better use of money and safety and thinking in the future to have a turning lane versus a path. I mean, people aren't walking. I mean, where are people walking from? Right? I mean, is that right? Is there a path? I mean, or versus the median? I mean, I don't know. I think as a safety concern at 60 miles an hour, whether it's 1 car or 15 cars or a tractor trailer once to twice every week, I mean, 49 is a crucial road and ways, you know, a means of transportation for many people every day. So I don't know. I mean, forgive me for not believing in and trusting NCDOT, but they don't live here. We do.
Right, but it's also the town's engineering staff, where our town engineer is a
I mean,
transportation.
I've not always agreed with them either.
Yeah, transportation engineer, and they did vet this project. I mean, we'll be glad to look into it further if you'd like us to. But typically, you don't construct a right turn lane unless it's warranted. You don't put signals in unless it's warranted. So there are warrants that the transportation professionals look at when requesting improvements. The good news is, I will say this, the good news is on this is they're dedicating enough right-of-way that if it does need a right turn lane in the future, there's room to put one in.
Well, who would pay for that, though?
It would depend on the user, so either the user and NCDOT. So
I'm saying if it's already done, approved without it, I mean, foil is not going to be foils anymore. So,
well, if it's a change in use, we evaluate it. We issue a permit for any change in use. So if Foils were to sell their business to, say, something with a higher demand, such as a call center where they operate 24/7, they would need to get a permit from us. We evaluate the transportation impacts, so forth. NCDOT's involved, and it may warrant a traffic study or need for a turn lane.
So can I ask a question?
Mhm.
With the new storage units that you want to put back there, sorry, with the new storage units that you want to put back there to store your materials, is that going to, do you feel like that's going to increase your customer base or like lessen how many tractor trailers are coming in and out because now you've got some stored there, or is it going to increase, you know, how
Well, I
many
mean,
trucks are coming in and out?
The goal is always to grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, I'd be amiss to tell you, I really, so we're basing it on our current business, and we've been in business a long time, and people know that we've been doing resale a long time. So they come into Foyles. It's a safety thing for me. We run a full-fledged recycling center, and people are coming through the middle of the recycling center to get steel or get a piece of aluminum, get copper. So really what we're trying to do is move that unit. That's why I was telling you what, I mean, there's a need, but how much of that, you know, is really gonna, you know, you got NASCAR resale up here, you know, doing certain type of tubing, things like, ours is more for smaller base, if you will. That's what we're targeting. It's a small building, we can't put so much, and even the outside storage, we're limited on what we can do. And I wanted to address, I know you had a question about, if you look, I know you said you could sit, but you cannot. We actually invited them day one when we bought the product, come out and take a look. It goes down the hill, it's 20 feet.
Okay, great.
So when you come out of my building, the tractor trailer, I had to make a ramp. It was so steep you couldn't even get up and down. So when you go down from the road, and we're going to put a fence per shelling that you can't see up. So if you were able to see it, you won't be able to see it, because I'll make sure, because I understand that. I mean, I know what you want, you know, visual, I get that. But quite honestly, you won't be able to see it, even now, you know what I'm saying? But I do understand what you're saying, the amount of trucks. I can't imagine, we made it a complete circle, so you come in, they could pull it off, say, DOT, when you pull in now, we do, so I grew up, I moved out here when I was 9 years old. I actually lived in Harrisburg a long time. So I was 9 years old when we got this property out on 49. The gentleman, when he was doing this, Jesse Alexander, the gentleman that owned this property, I grew up with them mechanicking, learning how to work on trucks and stuff like that. And like you said, Harrisburg wasn't like it is now, 4 lanes and running through. So I understand your concern about coming in and out. They did a lot of trucks and stuff like that. That's, it'll be more pickups, and it might be a guy with a trailer, like a pull-behind trailer, you know what I mean, like a 10-foot, 20-foot trailer getting a piece of steel. Then it will be tractor. We don't sell tractor trailer loads. We purchase it from Benco, like people like that. They bring it in. Like I said, it's on a set schedule, and it's normally twice a week at the most.
And it's the same clientele that's already visiting your other spot. You're
That is
literally just
correct.
moving what you're doing up the road to separate it
Yeah, I
out.
mean,
So we're
I think
not
the
adding more people.
Right, I think the visibility will
But that's
help.
further up.
Well, it's not that much further. It's just right
It
up
makes,
the road.
it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Traffic
Yeah.
makes, I mean, traffic thins out.
But-
And it's out, so my other question is, how often will you be bringing material? From one
I'm
place
sorry,
to
I'm
the
sorry,
other?
say
How
that
often will you be bringing the material from one place to the other?
I'd like to tell you I know that 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know, because right now, we bring it in, like I said, twice a week, but what's on the yard that comes in, they'll put it on a flatbed, and then once we get enough, I mean, I don't mean it's, economically for us, it's better to have one load, full load come up,
Yeah.
unload it, and not have like
Yeah.
all these little loads. I don't want my guys spending 2
Right.
hours unloading 200 pounds, you know what I mean, coming
Yeah.
back, so.
No, I think my more concern is like with the town and NCDOT and the transportation engineers. I mean, that multi-use path versus a turning lane, I guess is it more costly to put a turning lane in? Like, who's gonna use that path? I mean, I know you're thinking maybe you can get other,
Yeah, the
obviously,
goal
but like,
is to
but
get
still,
a
I mean,
complete
no, I mean,
path for alternative means and a vehicle to get around. So as projects go through, we require all developments to either do a sidewalk or a multi-use path, and eventually they connect up where the town identifies a project and makes the connection.
right, I think that there's a lot of existing, I think that's not gonna happen anytime soon with everything else that's already existing in there. And to me, a turning lane would be the safer, better option than a multi-use path and/or the landscaped median. But that's not on you guys, that's.
So what we could do is add a condition that the need for a right turn lane be reevaluated. Because, again, we do have transportation.
I am well aware. And we can't like ask for something that technically isn't warranted, is that?
You can ask, but it doesn't mean NCDOT will let it go in. So you can
So
put,
they
so
still-
NCDOT, they maintain the state road. And that's why we coordinate with them from the very beginning. I have another project further up that's proposing an industrial, a couple of large industrial buildings, and right from the beginning, NCDOT said they have to do a right turn lane on there. And so that's even before we get into the meat of the project. So again, NCDOT is part of our DRC team from the very onset of this project through this final plan, a concept plan coming before you. It's been vetted by NCDOT and the town. And again, we can add a condition that we further evaluate the need for a right turn lane. But ultimately, it's up to NCDOT.
I mean, we're happy to look at that. It just, the improvements have to be proportionate to the development. And, $150,000 right turn lane for an
Right, that's like,
existing.
I didn't know if it was how much more costly it was than what
Yeah.
they're proposing.
Yeah, with the existing uses that, someone could go in and put an office or whatever existing uses allowed in your code, because we're doing the outdoor storage causes us to go through this rezoning. Now we're putting in the buffers and the fencing and we're paving, so there's a lot of cost already
Yeah.
associated with, so it just has to be proportionate and something
Right, that's what I was
that
saying, without-
makes sense.
Well, because even if you do put in a turn lane, you're still gonna have to put curb and guttering and a buffer.
Right.
So
That's
those
correct.
expenses aren't going away, you're adding to it just to have a turn lane.
And we'd still require the multi-use
Yeah.
path, and, because they're required of the code.
It
You know,
would
the
be in
code
addition
doesn't-
to
the-
not replacing.
The code does say they have to do transportation improvements as needed.
Right.
That gets evaluated, and it would be a condition of this project.
Happy to look at it, but it's just
Yeah.
becomes.
Okay, any more questions? Shelley, can you go back to your
Yes.
pages that assist us?
Thank you.
Thank you, yes, thank you.
Can you restart me? Thank you. It's clicking a little too quickly. Thank you. So which slide would you like to be on?
The
Yeah.
motion.
This one?
Okay, do we have a motion to recommend to the town council to approve with modifications, or disapprove of the zoning map amendment?
I move to approve the recommendation from staff to send this to town council for approval. That is the appropriate terminology for the motion.
We're discussing.
We gotta have a second,
Do we want-
yeah.
Discuss? Oh, yeah, do we want to discuss?
first, everybody? I know I'm on board as well.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
As long as I heard that there's a possibility of a turn lane if they need it, because your business could just grow exponentially and you need a turn lane. So as long as it's there for future use if they need it, I think.
Well, then we need to approve it with the condition to,
Do you want to do that?
But we wouldn't, we would be looking into the future about an exponential growth that would happen
No.
10 years down the road.
No, but I mean, as long as you've indicated that the land is there in case they need it in the future.
That's correct.
That-
With the
so we can
dedication,
approve
there's
it how it is
opportunity.
now because the land is there.
There's opportunity
There's
if needed, but I just want to clarify, what we were talking about
Right.
is a change in use. You know, this business could operate there 10, 20 years and just be fine.
Right.
But if they sell the property and it's a more intense use, then through our permitting process, it's already in our ordinance that
Okay.
we would require TIA and so forth.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Okay, will you make that motion again, please?
I move to recommend the staff's, Jesus Christ, what was I saying? I move to approve the staff recommendation for this rezoning request, and that it move forward to town council.
Second.
Okay, would someone like to make the reasonableness and consistency statement?
Can we call for a motion
I'm sorry.
on that motion
yes.
and then
Do
go
we-
to the findings?
Wait, do we, does?
We had a first and
we
a
have,
second.
Everyone approve? All approve?
Aye.
Okay. Now, can we have a statement for reasonableness and consistency with the HALP?
So just read the last two? Yes. Okay.
It has to be.
It has to be. Yeah.
The map amendment is a reasonable request because it provides for repurposing of a commercial site within an economic corridor while bringing the site into compliance with current development regulations. And the map amendment is consistent with the HALP supporting land use and economic development goals of the town.
Okay. So motion has been approved and the required finding for reasonableness and consistency has been stated.
You need a second?
We need a motion for
Second.
that.
Second?
All approve? Aye.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any staff or staff updates?
Yes, so quick update. So this board, like our other boards, have town council liaisons, and they are appointed to the boards every January. So we're all familiar with Councilmember Thevelin, who has been our liaison from the council. So here tonight, we have Councilmember Glover, who is our alternate, and she's here tonight, and will be sitting in on our meetings when Councilmember Thevelin is unavailable. So I just wanted to introduce her and let you know who our liaisons are.
Okay. Well, that concludes our meeting. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.